Address of the International Working Men's Association. To Abraham Lincoln, President of the United States of America, 1864.
Sir,
We congratulate the American people upon your re-election by a large majority. If resistance to the slave power was the reserved watchword of your first election, then the triumphant war cry of your re-election is death to slavery. From the commencement of the titanic American strife, the working men of Europe felt instinctively that the star-spangled banner carried the destiny of their class. The contest for the territories, which opened the dire epopee, was it not to decide whether the virgin soil of immense tracts should be wedded to the labor of the emigrant or prostituted by the tramp of the slave driver? When an oligarchy of 300,000 slaveholders dared to inscribe, for the first time in the annals of the world, slavery on the banner of armed revolt, when on the very spots where hardly a century ago the idea of one great democratic republic had first sprung up, where the first declaration of the rights of man was issued, and the first impulse given to the European Revolution of the 18th century, when on those very spots counter-revolution with systematic thoroughness gloried in rescinding the ideas entertained at the time of the formation of the old Constitution, and maintained slavery to be a beneficent institution, when it cynically proclaimed property in man to be the cornerstone of the new edifice, then the working classes of Europe understood at once, even before the fanatic partisanship of the upper classes, for the Confederate gentry had given its dismal warning, that the slaveholders' rebellion was to sound the tocsin for a general holy crusade of property against labor, and that for the men of labor, with their hopes for the future, even their past conquests, were at stake in that tremendous conflict on the other side of the Atlantic, while the working men, the true political powers of the North, allowed slavery to defile their own republic, while before the Negro, mastered and sold without his concurrence, they boasted it the highest prerogative of the white-skinned laborer to sell himself and choose his own master. They were unable to attain the true freedom of labor or to support their European brethren in their struggle for emancipation, but this barrier to progress has been swept off by the Red Sea of civil war. The working men of Europe feel sure that as the American War of Independence initiated a new era of ascendancy for the middle class, so the American anti-slavery war will do for the working classes. They consider it an earnest of the epoch to come that it fell to the lot of Abraham Lincoln, the single-minded son of the working class, to lead his country through the matchless struggle for the rescue of an enchained race and the reconstruction of a social world. Signed on behalf of the International Working Men's Association, the Central Council, George Odger, President; P.V. Lubez, Corresponding Secretary for France; Karl Marx, Corresponding Secretary for Germany.